Introduced on September 14th, the iPhone 13 Pro and iPhone 13 Pro Max are Apple's newest high-end Pro-level flagship iPhones. The new phones will run iOS 15, come with a larger battery, more storage, a new A15 Bionic processor, a smaller notch, and an abundance of new camera features. So in this video, we're going to tell you about 10 awesome new features on iPhone 13. The video is going to be amazing, so make sure you stick till the end. Before starting the video, be sure to smash that like button and subscribe to never miss out on any of our videos. Number 10. GPU. The biggest change this year is the GPU on the iPhone 13 Pro, which now gets 5 cores instead of 4 on the A14, which should lead to a pretty huge difference in graphics performance. Now moving on, the 16-core neural engine can now run 15.8 trillion operations per second compared to just 11 on the A14, and there are even more upgrades like a new display engine that will be more efficient, new video encoders and decoders which will help with video editing and video streaming, double the system cache which will improve overall performance, and a new image signal processor that improves the overall camera quality. Number 9. 120Hz refresh rate. We've all been waiting years for Apple to bring a 120Hz refresh rate to the iPhone, and at last it's finally happened. Back in October, John Prosser reported that 120Hz was for sure coming to the 2021 Pro iPhones since it almost made it onto the iPhone 12 Pro, but unfortunately, it didn't due battery life concerns. And then, in December, the analysts reported that 120Hz is finally coming to the iPhone 13 models thanks to the adoption of LTPO OLED display technology. This was excited because it allows for a variable refresh rate like Apple currently uses on the iPad Pro, and it also allows for an always-on display, which is greatly welcome on the iPhone. Number 8. Storage. Base storage still starts at 128 GB, but at the top end, there's a new 1 TB option. The iPhone 13 Pro model offers a 1 TB storage option. This is a ludicrous amount of storage for a phone, but it is fitting for the Pro versions. Apple will also let you shoot videos in ProRes this year, but is there if you buy an iPhone that has enough storage to handle it. Number 7. Design. The new iPhone features a flat edge design which debuted with the iPhone 12 range. That means the design is a touch more angular than the rounded finish of previous iterations, but the phone is still comfortable to use one-handed. The iPhone 13 Pro and Pro Max finally offer iPhone users a screen feature that flagship Android phones have had for quite a long time. Higher refresh rates, Apple's branding for its screen is Super Retina XDR display with ProMotion, and the important part is the ProMotion, which previously has only been on the iPad Pro. On the subject of durability, the iPhone 13 series is IP68 dust and water resistant, which means it can survive in up to 6 meters of water for a period of 30 minutes. Don't expect this handset to be fully waterproof, but it'll survive the odd dunk. On the left edge of the phone are the silent switch, the volume buttons, and the SIM tray. The right edge hosts just the power button, so it's easy to find with your thumb or finger when you're trying to wake the handset. On the bottom edge are the speakers and the Lightning port connector for charging and data transfer. Number 6. Battery. The change that's most likely to make the biggest impact for most people is battery life. Apple is happy to tell you that the battery improvements come from a constellation of updates, including increased efficiency in the new A15 Bionic processor and changes to how the new display uses power. In fact, leaks suggested that all 4 iPhone 13 models will get a battery boost. Back in March, reports from Ming-Chi Kuo that the iPhone 13 lineup would be getting bigger batteries by using a new space-saving design for some of the internal parts. And back in June, we got another report that mentioned the exact battery sizes of the iPhone 13 lineup, with the Pro Max model going from 3,876 mAh to a massive 4,352. The 13 and 13 Pros going from 2,815 to 3,095, and the Mini going from 2,227 to 2,406. So the biggest difference is only on the iPhone 13 Pro Max model. Number 5. Ultra-wide camera. You've got an upgraded ultra-wide camera with significantly improved low-light performance. Apple switching to an 1.8 aperture, which is slightly worse than the 1.6 aperture on the wide lens, which is excellent for low lights. But 1.8 is extremely impressive for an ultra-wide lens, and this will greatly help for camera quality. Now, you may have noticed that basically all of those have to do with camera performance, and that's because the iPhone 12 was a super cycle. And Apple usually focuses on camera upgrades the following years. There is no telephoto shooter here, you're relying on digital zoom, so this phone isn't going to be the best for grabbing long-distance shots. When not shooting at a distance, this is a fantastic and versatile experience. The main camera uses 1.7 micrometer pixels, up from 1.4 on the iPhone 12, that give a noticeable difference to the picture quality here. Number 4. Cinematic Mode. Apple's flashiest iPhone ads are for cinematic mode. It's an entirely new mode for iPhone video that uses software to blur the background of a video, such as portrait mode does for photos. Unlike portrait modes, cinematic doesn't take advantage of the iPhone 13 Pro's LiDAR sensor for creating a depth map, it just uses software to recognize human faces and bodies. The reason cinematic mode makes for such a great demo is that it can automatically shift the focus when something happens in the scene. It locks onto the biggest face that it sees, but if that face turns away, the iPhone can automatically shift focus to somebody else in the background. It's fun to play around with and works with both the rear and front-facing selfie cameras. Number 3. A15 Chip. The iPhone 13 now gets the new A15 Bionic chip with a few improvements. Apple boosted the A15 has better performance than its competitors, a claim that's been true for years based on the Geekbench speed test. The A15 is an important foundation for Apple, not just for the new iPhone. The A15 also will likely power next-generation iPads, and a more powerful variation could be the brains inside new Macs, a follow-up to the way Apple's M1 processor is based on the 2020's A14 processor. Apple is amid a 2-year process of evicting Intel processors from its Macs. Designing its own chips gives Apple several advantages. It can set its own priorities in features and release timing, it can better integrate its own software, and more broadly, it can set its own destiny better, a benefit embodied in the Cook Doctrine, named for CEO Tim Cook to own and control the main technologies in its products. Number 2. Smart HDR 4. Apple is updating the 13 lineups to support Smart HDR 4, which should give us another improvement in terms of dynamic range. Apple is also adding the new photographic styles feature, which basically adds a small filter that can do things like adding more contrast to photos or making them more bright and vibrant. But the really awesome detail is that you can adjust the tone and the warmth to exactly how you like it, and those custom settings will stick basically forever without having to adjust them every time. Or you can simply tap on a face to make it adjust focus, and then tap again to make it track the face as it moves closer or further away. But the absolute blowing feature is that all of the depth data is saved on your phone, so you can go into the video and adjust the aperture or background blur in the post, and even crazier, you can actually change the focus point as you're editing the clip in post if you accidentally messed it up while shooting. Number 1. Brighter display. The iPhone 13 Pro models have a brighter display that can go up to 1000 nits in any situation instead of the previous 800 on the 12 Pro models. However, I do want to highlight a very interesting tidbit, and that's the fact that if you look at Apple's rating for the streamed video playback battery life, which includes watching YouTube videos, the 13 Pro gets up to 20 hours instead of just 11 on the 12 Pro, and the 13 Pro Max gets up to 25 hours instead of 12 on the iPhone 12 Pro Max, which is going to be a huge deal for those who watch a lot of videos. Let us know your opinion in the comment section below. This was all for today. Hope you liked the video. Don't forget to subscribe to Finding Tech. Stay safe, and we'll be back soon with another video.